Hello, welcome to the feature demonstration of my research project, which is set to answer the question of whether providing more color agency within game to players leads to a better user experience, especially for people with different kinds of vision impairments, particularly color blindness. You'll notice that at the start of the game, we have randomly spawned items, enemies, and the rooms are generated procedurally, all outlined in the method section of our dissertation. The randomly spawned enemies are based on weight constraints, and this applies to not just the enemies, but also to the items that we can pick up within the game. When the player is within range, the enemy should be following you in order to, well, eliminate you from the game. When it comes to the items, this orange jar is meant to be to increase your health. For the sake of this prototype demonstration, we have removed the health bar, and this is so that players can test the game freely without worrying if they're going to kill their character. The sort of blue triangular item is to increase the speed of the player, and the pink scroll is to increase the size of the bullets. When it comes to the actual color options and agency and solution that we have developed for this game, let's go into the settings menu. When we load this up, you'll see that it's fairly simplistic, and it's designed to be easy to navigate, easy to use, and very, very minimalistic in design. You'll notice that we have two tabs, so we have the Controls tab and we have the Colors tab. Inside of this Colors tab is where we have our two solutions and options. The list here shows the colors in our default color palette, and is where we have the option for providing a custom color selection to our players. We also have a drop-down menu which showcases the different types of color blindness, and this will allow you to override the entire color scheme of the game based on the type of color blindness that you have chosen to view. Let's, for this example, take monochromacy. If I choose monochromacy, you'll notice that the color scheme has now been overridden with colors that this specific type of player will be able to see. In this case of monochromacy, it's blue monochromacy, so it's not just grayscale. Now, when we resume the game, you notice that we can pick up right where we left, and you have no need to restart the game in order for the effects to take place. Now, I'm not very happy with this specific shade, so I want to switch over to a different type of color mode. So I want to go into, say, Deuteronomy, and if I go through that, you'll notice that I'm able to switch the color palette to what Deuteronomy users are able to see, and the same goes with if I selected trichromacy. Now, regardless, so you can also go right back into default mode and see that this effect has taken a change in the background. Now, regardless of what mode you're in, you should be able to access the custom color option, and this is a bespoke system where we have a stylized wheel, which is a design choice, and this will allow you to choose a color that you would want to see for the specific item that it is associated with. Now, I would like my character to be, say, a shade of teal, and instead of the walls being a shade of green, I would like it to be, say, red. Now, we have different styles or different options for this color as well, so you can go from a slightly darker or a mixtured color into a more lighter shade, a darker, brighter shade, or through lighter options towards the more white, based on where you are in the color wheel. Now, if I want this to be a deep red shade, I can change this to the color that I would like it to be, and there we go. This is the custom option, and this leads to a very different game look and feel, and is expected to provide or has proven in the user feedback to be quite interesting for most players, with 54% of the people choosing to opt for the custom color mode. Now, for this color wheel, we also simulated color blindness modes and provided by the OS filter system, which overlays a contrast on your entire screen. In order to switch this on, and let's go into, say, Deuteranopia, which is selected. If we go back to our game, you notice that the color wheel is now slightly brighter, almost fluorescent, and to showcase what it should look like to the player in default mode, let's switch it off. So it's Windows, Control, and C. This is what it's actually supposed to look like versus with the filter on now. So Windows, Control, C again, and it's now a much brighter shade. So let's see what it actually looks like in game. Filter on, now filter off. Similarly, we can also switch into trichromacy mode, or Tritanopia. Now, with the system that we were designing, let's select the actual trichromacy mode. Oops, sorry. There we go. This is what the actual trichromacy mode for us is supposed to be. And is the filter on? Yeah. So if I want the filter off, this is what we had designed to be the actual color shade versus what the filter would make it look like, which is a higher or lighter shade in color. Now, this hasn't really changed the color that you're able to see, and this shows that we have done some extensive research behind what kind of colors these people are able to see, and also ensure that it works well both with the filter and without the filter on. Now, to see the major drastic difference that it actually showcases in the game, let's have a look at the color wheel. With the Tritanopia mode, if I switch it on, you'll be able to see that it puts almost like a green, murky look on top of the color wheel. So you can clearly kind of see why it could be distressing for people or users with a more yellow palette, things that they are not able to see it in almost this sort of shade. This sort of concludes the feature presentation, and we would love for you to test this out and provide your own feedback. Thank you very much.